Hey everybody, this is Gary K. I'm excited to be bringing to you the first ever rAVe TV live broadcast from Enterprise Connect. We're at the Enterprise Connect 2019 show, and we're coming to you from 3 different locations simultaneously. I'm here at the rAVe Pubs, rAVe Agency headquarters. We're coming to you from California, where the headquarters of Altia Systems, who invented the Panicast system, is. And we also have a team from Panicast, Altia Systems, down in Orlando. Hey everybody, how are you?
Good.
Excited to see everybody. I want to go around and have everyone introduce themselves. I'm Gary K, of course, rAVe Pubs. We're excited to be coming to you live from Enterprise Connect. Thanks for watching this live broadcast. I'm going to hand it on over this way to you to have you introduce yourself, Yesh. Tell us a little bit about you, Yesh Gupta from Altia Systems. Introduce yourself and what do you do?
Hi, everybody. My name is Yash. I'm the Director of Engineering for the Camera Systems Development at Altia Systems. And we'll be talking about our latest generation camera, which is Panicast 3, which I have in my hand. And we're excited to tell you more about what this new camera does and how we built this.
Listen, they were at Enterprise Connect, huge hit at Enterprise Connect. I mean, Enterprise Connect is all about video collaboration, and this is going to change the world of video collaboration. You'll notice down below here that I have a team connected with 4 people, and you're using a Panicast 3 on the show floor in the GN audio booth. I'm going to hand it over to you, rAVe. You're the founder of all of this. You're the person with the vision.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Gary. It's great catching up with you again, and great to be connected with you. And as you said, very early on when we started, we built something quite revolutionary, aimed it perfectly at this whole emerging class of huddle rooms, and that's just really taking off all around us, and we'd love to tell you more about it. I want to introduce some of our team members.
Hi, I'm Zarina. I'm the Sales Enablement Manager at Altia Systems. And Gary, I've got to mention, we are also using a Jabra device on this call, so it's like the perfect combination. That's why the audio is great.
So that Jabra Speak, is that what you're using?
Yeah, Speak 7 times. Yep. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Shahab Bakai. I'm the media architect at Altia Systems, now Jabra GN. And I'm excited to be here at Enterprise Connect and talking to you through the Panicast device and the Jabra 710.
And Jacob, what about you? I mean, who are you?
So I'm Jacob Blunt. I'm the assistant editor of rAVe Publications. So I work directly with Gary and Sarah, our executive editor. And I'm down here with the on-site team of reporters at Enterprise Connect, bringing you the news from Enterprise Connect and spending some time with great friends at Altia Systems here.
Yeah, I gotta say, one of the fun things, Gary, with rAVe Pubs is whenever we go to a show now, we kind of look out for your folks and your shirts. It's like one of those comforting things, like, oh, okay, I know these guys.
I love to hear that. I did not even pay for that. I love to hear that. As you can see, we have our URL here. We are actually reporting live from the show. We're shooting videos at every single booth on the show floor at ravepubs.com at EC 2019. And one of the big introductions that was sort of precursor to the show was the acquisition of Altia Systems by GN Audio. Everyone knows GN Audio as Jabra, but maybe didn't know that GN Audio was the head company. I mean, Jabra is really the brand that everyone's familiar with. rAVe, tell me about that. Tell me about that acquisition and sort of how that came about.
Yeah, we back last year, a number of folks had reached out to us looking at combining audio and video in interesting ways. And as you've talked in the past, we see these parallel trains where audio is becoming intelligent. And of course, video, as we pioneered a lot of the intelligent vision features that are now being taken up by other folks also to a degree. And we started talking to the GN team, last fall timeframe. And we were thinking about new kind of products we could build together and so on. And, one thing led to another, and pretty much they put forward an offer to kind of pull the companies together. And the more of the folks that we got to meet, we liked them a lot. We liked the culture, we liked their rate of innovation. They've built a great product and a great brand. We've done a decent job at our end, and we're very excited that when you put intelligent video and intelligent audio together, the possibilities are just breathtaking.
Yeah, and in fact, it's a good marriage because they do audio, you do video. But really, let's talk about the Panicast 3 really quickly. I want to jump into that. If you don't mind holding that up and
yeah, I'm gonna say they're multiplying, they're everywhere, right?
That's it. It's small. There you go. 3 cameras in there, but it's more than a camera. Like, it's being called a camera, but it's really an AI device and a camera in one.
Exactly right. And I've been trying, we've been having a great day here today, Gary. A lot of folks are coming by. And, everybody's now really focusing on their huddle room strategy and how to grow huddle room deployments. And the thing that we've been able to showcase is, first, huddle rooms are different in that everything happens right up front near the front wall, right? And any other device is really a single camera. And even when people are making them ultra wide angle, they still leave out about a third to 40% of that real estate right up front, which, very expensive real estate. And also if anybody's sitting in those front two chairs, they're not on the video, they feel like you're left out. So we really approached it, we think, in the right way by building a 3-camera array. And as you said, it's a device, which is a system of 3 cameras, 2 microphones, audio DSP. So I tell folks there's a lot of hardware. There are 9 different processors in here, but we've hidden all that complexity for the user. They just plug in one wire, plug it in, no software to install, just select it and you're good to go. And it works with pretty much everything out there.
And so I have a Panicast 2 system, as you know, in my classroom at UNC. Define specifically the difference between the 2 and the 3, because the 3 is obviously a newer version. I mean, clearly, physically, see the difference. I know that you said it moved the microphones closer so that you get better audio, but tell me some more of the differences between the two.
The big difference, and let me just say one thing at the outset, Gary, which is that Panicast 2 is continuing forward. It's alive and healthy. We've got customers buying hundreds of them even right now and going forward. And all the new technology we've put forward, like the 4th generation stitching, first came out in Panicast 3. We're going to provide that free of cost on Panicast 2 also. So to answer your question, Panicast 2 had 3 megapixel cameras, and we were outputting panoramic 4K, 30 at 40 by 1080. Here we have 3 13 megapixel cameras. So basically we have a lot more pixels to work with. So one of the things we're able to do with all of that incredible pixel density is we do 3x intelligent zoom, of course, but now we can do 6 times zoom, lossless digital zoom through the Panicast Vision app. So if you're in a big room or you want to pull in something from very far away, just digitally, nothing moving, just pull it in digitally, you can do that. Turns out that, the higher resolution also down the road will be very useful as our device produces data. As you said, it's an array of AI sensors, right? And we've been pioneering people detection. Now we're showing off object detection. We've got a bunch of companies that are writing software to use that data to take intelligent decisions or to manage resources. That's just going to continue forward. You can imagine that's a whole new roadmap of capability for the AV industry as it merges in with the IT industry.
Yeah, in fact, you just answered my next question, what some of the use cases are, because this is more than a camera. Obviously, for someone who travels like me a lot and has to teach remotely, I love the fact that I can use a Panicast camera like this that gives me that wide angle, but also it allows me to pretty much broadcast in any space where I don't have to actually worry about the dimensions of the space. But also, if you're putting this in a permanent installation in the digital signage world and in the conferencing world or in the facilities management world, Yash, was this a thought process? Was that in the facilities management world, you'd be able to have a little bit of better data of the usage of a room and how many people are coming in and using, how often it's being used, by allowing the camera to automatically sense that information?
Well, yeah, that's absolutely right. The reason why the 3-camera system working as a single device, giving a 180-degree field of view, is crucial for some of the applications you discussed. Digital signage, you don't know where the people are coming into the camera's field of view from. So 180-degree is crucial, and the ability for the camera to have that high resolution, high number of pixels, to infer and detect who is in front of the device, generate all the data and analytics information for that is super important. And once time permits, we would also like to show you a demo of how the 13 megapixel per camera manifests itself in conferencing applications, where we can really zoom in 6x lossless digital zoom for some of the applications like teaching are very, very useful.
Now we're going to be doing this video live broadcast every day this week. We're going to do it at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock again tomorrow, and we're going to do it, I believe, at 4 o'clock. Jacob, is that right? We're going to do 4 o'clock on Wednesday, or what time is it?
I believe it's actually 7 all 3 days. I think we went through some scheduling issues originally, but I think we figured it all out in 7 each.
Schedule's attached here to this description, so don't worry about it. At 7 o'clock each day, then we're going to do a live broadcast. We're going to have a chance to experience a lot about the Panicast product. But Jacob, while you're there, I want you to walk around the room.
Okay.
slow is ask rAVe another feature, because one of the things that's problematic with some of these cameras is that distortion that you normally get. I have him walking around the room intentionally so you can see there is no distortion. I also want you to tell everyone how deep that room is and how big that room is so they get an idea how much of that room you're picking up. So go.
The table itself, I mean, the camera is probably a quarter of the way through the table. The table is about 8 feet, 9 feet long.
Probably 8 feet. Yeah.
And then, I mean, so it's from the Panicast 3 all the way to the back wall. I think we're talking 13 feet.
Right now, I want you to come all the way to the. By the way, the audio sounds incredible. Hats off. Come all the way to the screen. I want you to sit up right up against the screen here, Jacob, and I want you to see how close that you can get to the camera.
Right at the edge.
Here we go.
His face is against the screen basically right now, and that's pretty amazing. So rAVe, this sort of changes. I mean, timing wise, this is perfect because this sort of changes everything in UCC, because the whole market kind of came together. It was like a perfect storm of a time for a wide camera, wide 180-degree camera.
Exactly right, Gary. And today's been awesome. We've got so much traffic, so many people coming by. We're running a demo with the device and also the analytics. We're showing people detection, people counting, and it just catches people's eyes. And then the thing we love doing, which is what you just did here, is we'll just situate right at the 180 line, right at the extreme corners, right? And you look at them and say, people look how they look. They don't look like they're in a fishbowl or like they're being pulled off in one direction, right? And that just really registers with people when they see it firsthand. And it's been a great day. A lot of good conversations going on.
Yeah, and in fact, I mean, we can talk about this for one of the other days, but I mean, the processing that you're doing can be used in a lot of other devices, not just in a camera, to solve a lot of that fishbowl effect and that weird distortion that you get of characters and people in a video conference like this. But I want to ask I'm going to come back to you guys in just a second. Zarina, I'm going to come back to you. I got a question for you, but Jacob, I want to ask you about a couple of the booths on the show floor that are getting a lot of push here at the show. Barco relaunched the WeConnect at the Enterprise Connect, which we haven't seen in a while. They kind of pulled that product off the market for a little while, and of course Unicy's in their booth. How's the show been for them? Did you have a chance to go by their booth and see that yet?
Yeah, so I met with Hans Meyer, who is the VP of sales for Enterprise, and we did a couple of videos and did an interview, and so we'll get those up on our microsite, which is ravepubs.com/EC2019. But it was really unique what they were doing with the WeConnect and the Unicy display. So they were combining the two, and the application that they're pushing is for education. So it's meant for a projector to stand in front of the Unicy display and be able to see his or her entire class. And so that's using the WeConnect platform, but it's also using the Unicy display and all of its cool features with the bezel-less pitch and the installation. And
the idea behind that is a presenter can present from wherever they are. They are looking at a monitor wall like the Unicy, and they're seeing real live proportions, or they can use a projector. In fact, rAVe, you should go by there and take a look at that, because I think your camera could revolutionize the WeConnect experience, because one of the problems they're having is they're having to aggregate multiple cameras when you have a large room environment like that, where you could solve that problem. So that's something to go look at. And I have another question for you, Jacob. The theme of Enterprise Connect is clearly cloud, 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 and then a little bit more cloud. Everything is having the hardware there. Now you got to have the camera, you got to have the devices picking up the audio, so you got to have the video and the audio from something. But the processing and the transmission and the manipulation is all being done in the cloud now.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you walk around and you see cloud providers, Google Cloud, AWS, and the crowds in their booths. But with all of our trade show operations and headed to trade shows, you oftentimes get a lot of Wi-Fi networks, but I'm seeing them again and again and again. It's because everybody's powering everything over the network now. I spent some time in the Poly booth, which Polycom and Plantronics combined today, or they released this new brand called Poly, and they're featuring a Plantronics status indicator. Same with Barco Overture. It's all IT and cloud-based management and status control.
Yeah, did you have a chance to go by the Extron booth, because they're launching a new product that's a Zoom Room collaborative product. Did you have a chance to look at that yet, or is that something you're going to look at tomorrow?
Yeah, so we have an appointment scheduled with them tomorrow morning, so I'm happy to touch base on that during our show tomorrow.
Okay, good. We'll talk about it tomorrow. What about the immersive Solstice 4.0 product? That's new for the enterprise market, the UCC market, I should say. Have you had a chance to look at that yet?
Yeah, so stopped by the immersive booth today. And Solstice 4.0 is the new release to the Solstice 3.0, and it's wireless collaboration. They built it on the Gen 3 hardware platform, which is unique. And one unique thing that they also did is so there's one HDMI in, but two HDMI out. So it allows you to do a split display if you're in a conferencing situation in which you would want to use a split display within that conference room. And Solstice Inc. Was also released alongside Solstice 4.0, which turns any mobile device using the mobile app into a pointer, and then also something where you can annotate on top of the collaboration space that Solstice is pushing. It really unique product. I got to speak with the director of product marketing, Troy, there today, and that interview will go up sometime this week to ravepubs.com/EC2019 as well.
So Zarina, I have a question, because I would assume that walking around the show like Enterprise Connect, you must be, the ideas in your head are flowing with regard to partnership.
Oh, so many.
Ideas. And of course, with GN Audio as one of your backers here, that's going to make everything a lot easier for you to make contacts. But what kind of ideas you have flowing around in your brain there? What kind of marketing things are you thinking up while you're there at the show?
I think the biggest thing is just really capitalizing on all the amazing work that Jabra has already done in terms of really just supercharging their channels, supercharging their marketing efforts. We have always prided ourselves, we being Altia, have always prided ourselves on being kind of small but mighty. And that's fantastic. And we're going to continue in that culture and continue, being that way. But being able to really plug into a very well-oiled sales and marketing machine, I think that's going to be just the beginning of everything. So hopefully that answers your question, Gary.
Yeah, and of course, Panicast is a sponsor of our live broadcast. We're bringing to you TV broadcast from the show. Thank you, Zarina, for supporting that. This is something new. We're going to do it again at InfoComm, and we're going to launch this at every show in the future. This is going to be a great collaboration between Altia System Panicast product and rAVe, the rAVe TV product. Yep. Panicast is at panicast.com. rAVe, I have another question for you, because obviously I think the way your brain thinks and the way my brain thinks is different, because you're seeing things in a different way that I see things. But one thing that should be pointed out before I ask this question, maybe Yash, you might might help in this answer, is that there's some intelligence here that is doing some recognition to count, to see who the people are, to process that information. But it should be pointed out that that's anonymous data. So although the data is collected, and of course a camera can see who somebody is, but the data is collected anonymously, intentionally, because obviously privacy is an important thing in a corporate network and an educational network as well. rAVe kind of address that, because you're doing some amazing recognition capabilities here, people recognition.
Yeah, in fact, maybe, Yash, if you have a chance, maybe we can show some of it. But yeah, exactly, to answer your question, when we launched down this road of using computer vision and AI back in 2017, we were very sensitive to people's privacy concerns and needs, and especially with GDPR, in Europe. And so when we detect a person's face, we don't know who the person is. We just detect that there's a person there. Number one. Number two, we never take a picture or store any data. So we don't have any pictorial information about the fact that there's a face. What we can do is, as soon as we detect that there's a pattern, we generate numerical data. That just is a count. So 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, right? So here, when you run our app, it'll say there are 4 faces it can see, there are 4 people present. It won't know who they are, and it won't store any pictures. And as you know, in our device, we don't store anything. It's a pure ultra high performance streaming device. So it'll just output the data through the API. Secondly, that API, then, people can query it. So you mentioned Extron. And they're querying it as a data sensor to detect and automate the workflow for room management. Our partner in Australia has built a whole app. AVT Australia has built a whole solution. It can be a cloud delivered solution or an on-prem solution, where they're using the device in addition to audio video conferencing as a data sensor to manage room bookings and cancellations. You think about any big company, they've got thousands of these rooms, and on paper they're fully booked up, but in practice some are not in use. This thing can automatically harvest that capacity back. Now, down the road, as people get more comfortable.
Let me say something about that too, because you mentioned Extron and that data, because one of the things you can do is automate with this data as well. So when it sees someone come in the room, you could set up a macro in a control system environment where you could actually automate the entire process of activating and deactivating room, which that alone, when you're talking about a company that has hundreds and potentially thousands of rooms, you're talking about millions of dollars in cost savings with just HVAC alone, not to mention everything else, if you take full advantage of that. So sorry for cutting you off.
No. Actually, I'm really glad you said that's exactly right. So if you think about the power of data, and we've been having a lot of conversations here today where people, I would say a year back, people would say, gee, that's interesting, not sure what I'd do with the data. That isn't the case anymore. Now people are coming to us where they've kind of thought through this, they've digested the information, they know that it's real. And so exactly as you said, people are actually telling us they want to prototype these solutions. Because you think about, for a major corporation, the real estate utilization, AV resource utilization, these are big factors in how efficient they are, how much profit they generate from their business. So exactly right. And this roadmap will continue, right? People detection is the start. We're showcasing object detection now, where we can detect commonplace objects like tables and chairs and TV monitors and cell phones. And so
one more step, okay? And Yash, I'm going to ask you tomorrow to demonstrate this feature, because I want people to watch tomorrow. So I'm going to do it today, but I'm going to go one more step. I see that this being the key device in gesture control: volume up, volume down, input, change inputs on a device, introduce the pointer, swiping across like this to introduce a pointer in a room, flicking to make my screen content go to the screen in front of me. I see this as the future, is the fact that you're watching what's going on, even if you're not using the camera at that moment in time. This is going to be the future of gesture control, because the amount of data that you can collect and control that way is going to be used to simplify things. And by the way, since you have an audio system built into it, that could also be translated into voice control as well in ADA applications where you don't have the ability to do that with your body for gesture control.
Yeah.
I want to go ahead, Arangzeb. Did you want to say something?
No, you're exactly right. Right, you're kind of reading our mind, reading ahead, which is good. You're good at doing that.
As a market analysis an analyst here, I want to thank everyone for joining. Yes, I want to thank you for joining. Although it's probably just lunch for you right now.
Thank you so much.
I want to thank all the viewers who took the time to watch this live. It's the first ever time we've ever done this. I'm excited about where this is going to take us, not just for InfoComm in a few months, but I'm excited where this is going to take us tomorrow, because I'm going to ask you, Yash, to demonstrate this capability of AI
Absolutely.
and people counting and people detection. And then on Wednesday, we got some other things planned that I want to do. I want to thank GN Audio for letting us use their room and this quality. Zarina, thanks for arranging that. Jacob, thanks for walking the show floor. As Jacob pointed out, all of our content is going to be at ravepubs.com/EC2019. This is 2019. I had to think for myself for a minute. We are at Enterprise Connect. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. We're going to sign out now, but we'll be back live again tomorrow at 7 p.m. talking about what we're seeing. And by then, you'll see a lot of the videos that Jacob shot today and Jacob and his team shot today on the show floor. Everyone, thanks for joining me. Thank you. Check it out at panicast.com. Panicast.com is where you can get this camera. Yes, I need you to do one last thing.
Yes.
Hold that camera up to the camera. There you go. We're going to go out with that. Look at that thing. That's amazing.